everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Samantha Salmon, your certified brain optimization coach, and today we're exploring how a plant-based diet can help with weight management, especially for those who find it harder to lose weight as they age. So in this video, you'll learn why a plant-based diet is effective for excess fat release and then managing that, and some practical tips to incorporate these principles into your daily routine. So why is it harder to release excess fat when you grow older? First of all, there's a metabolic slowdown, and this is due to glycation. And you can read more about that in Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Age. He has a whole chapter on glycation, but basically, we're eating a lot of proteins and sugars, refined sugars in particular, that is basically gumming up the system. Everything is sticking together and slowing stuff down inside the body. So we have a slowdown. Yet we know naturally with food, nutrition, how to boost metabolic health. And that's what I help folks do in my program, right? Raw foods is a huge catalyst for this. Omega-3 fatty acids is a huge catalyst for this, right? But we absolutely need to get off of the processed foods because the processed foods is causing this metabolic dysfunction and also the saturated fat from animal products. Okay. Also, there are hormonal changes, and we exacerbate those issues when we are consuming hormones from animal products, right? You have the meat and the dairy in particular, where we are actually consuming hormones. And this is disrupting our own hormonal balance, plus the fact that we are naturally going through hormonal changes, specifically as women going through perimenopause and then menopause, right? So there's that. Then there are the lifestyle factors because we're so busy. Work gets priority, right? Because we all need money to eat, to survive, and to live our best life, right? And then stress. If you are in a leadership position of any capacity, there's a level of stress. Even as a parent, as a grandparent, maybe you're an entrepreneur, busy professional, I'm pretty sure you're experiencing stress. And we're going to experience stress. There's a really interesting book I love. I think it's the author's name is Robert Sapolsky or something, and the book is called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. And I just love the title because in the wild, so first of all, I don't live in the wild, but sometimes it feels like that in Florida because there's so many animals out here. But when you look at squirrels, for example, right? Squirrels, they make such jagged, quick movements. They're always on alert, looking for a predator, right? Even when they eat, they don't really sit and have some quiet, peaceful time because they're always watching for a threat to come, right? Which is why they don't live very long, right? You're not going to see a squirrel centurion. It doesn't work, right? And we're no different than that, okay? A lot of us, and I know I grew up in New York, right? So in New York, at least before the pandemic, I'm hoping people have calmed down with this now, but you will honestly see frequently every day, like people on the streets, people on the train, eating breakfast, lunch, pizza, all the stuff, because they're going to and from different stuff. They're running to work or running to a meeting, they're running to somewhere. There's no time to sit and eat. My mom owned a salon. She was on her feet for long hours of the day. And many times she didn't have time to sit and eat. That wasn't a luxury that she had. But the difference with my mom and most of these people that I saw walking around the streets in New York is that once she got privy to nutrition, she would bring a smoothie. That would be her on the go nutrition. You're getting powerhouse nutrition in a quick manner, something that you can pack and prep. So she would have it in her cooler bag in the salon, and so she had hyper nourishment while she was working. You understand? So even though we have busy lifestyles and we're going out there doing our thing, reaching goals, reaching dreams, right? We don't have to sacrifice our health to do it, right? Because the stress is first of all, the stress is causing hormonal imbalance within us, which is affecting our brain function, causing cognitive decline, causing issues with our cardiovascular system, but ultimately keeping excess fat on in the midsection, especially, which is really dangerous for our vital organs, right? But even with all of this, there are alternatives, right? We don't have to necessarily change our whole life, but we do need to change our nutrition and some aspects of our lifestyle to make it healthier, to optimize it as much as possible. We also need to be a little bit more active because most of us are really sedentary, working office jobs. And that sedentary lifestyle is causing excess calorie just stay on the body, basically, right? We're overeating just because the processed food industry has hijacked our brain and they figured out how to dial up sugar, fat, and salt and mix it with some chemicals to engage the addiction centers of our brain. So we are getting addicted basically to these processed foods. And we justify it with, oh, life is too busy. I need to go after this money or whatever. And so I need to live off of chips. But the thing is, you're going to live off of chips. Not only is that causing cognitive decline, so whatever money you're trying to get, how are you doing this? Because you're compromising your own intelligence with improper nutrition. That's number one. And number two is you need to be physically active because we are so sedentary and we're eating this stuff and all it's doing is accumulating toxins and excess fat on the body and compromising our cardiovascular system, which constricts blood flow to the brain. And anyway, we end up gaining weight and we end up having problems with mood disturbances, mood imbalances, and just brain fog, not being able to think straight, and having our whole personality change, having issues with anxiety and depression, all of this stuff. So, as we're thinking about the benefits of a plant-based diet, a plant-exclusive diet, specifically when we're talking about releasing excess fat, we need to focus in on nutrient density. This is what the plants offer. This is our species-specific diet. It is the food that actually can get processed efficiently through the digestive system and allow us to not age faster, right, than we need to. Again, going back to the whole science around glycation. When you're eating plant foods, you have lower advanced glycation end products than meat, dairy, eggs. And also in the plant food kingdom, when you're eating raw foods, you have even lower than cooked vegan foods, right? Which means that your body and brain is more optimized because the more AGEs you consume, the advanced glycation end products, and the acronym was intentional, it's ages, right? It ages your body and it ages your life, which means you're accelerating to death. You're accelerating to a low quality of life in your later years. And I'm not even talking 60, I'm talking 50 plus. We are seeing people as young as 40 something, right? With cancers, with strokes, with blood clots, all sorts of issues. It's super important. Plus, you have fiber, and fiber is critical for a healthy gut. When you have fiber rich foods, you will satiate your appetite. It supports your digestive health and it allows toxins and waste to move quicker and more efficiently through your digestive system. So you will find yourself getting fuller faster with nutrient dense foods and then releasing the excess fat, right? Now, when I say release the excess fat, that doesn't mean fats are bad. Not all fats are bad. Of course, you don't want to clog up your arteries with saturated fat, but omega-3 fatty acids are essential. And so you need to be consuming that on a daily basis. That is part of having a healthy brain and a healthy body. And then finally, you want to reduce inflammation. Inflammation in the body is caused by meat, dairy, eggs, oils, and of course, if you're eating foods that you're allergic to, you are just irritating your intestinal lining on a regular basis, which is no good because then you ultimately end up compromising your gut, which compromises brain function, also puts you at risk for systemic inflammation in the joints and other autoimmune issues. And also, you make it harder for the body to absorb nutrients from the foods that you're eating because your gut lining is compromised. And so at that point, you may gain weight because of it. And you also may lose a dramatic amount of weight, but not in a healthy way, right? in a way in which you're also losing muscle mass. And this is why I've tried to make the distinction between fat release and weight, because weight is not really the problem. For most of us, the problem is the excess fat. The excess fat is at a risk factor for cognitive decline, for obesity, diabetes, early death, right? Cardiovascular issues, all sorts of issues, right? So this is really the issue. Being properly muscled, right? Having a good amount of muscle on you allows for you to have better metabolic health, first of all. Secondly, to recover faster if you should end up ill and end up in the hospital, if you get viruses and things like that. The muscle is supportive for quality of life. Even as you age, you want muscle to keep you up, right? So you have balance so that you're able to maneuver. And then the more strength and muscle development you have in your lower body, the better it is for your brain, because you have a bigger brain, right? It's directly related. It's directly related. So we want to not lose muscle mass, which is shown to increase longevity, improve our chances for recovery when we do get ill, right? Allows us to have a better quality of life as we age. We don't want to let go of that. We want to let go of is the excess fat that's causing hormonal disruption, that's causing obesity, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, all of that, right? A high blood pressure, which is a serious issue in our community, high cholesterol, right? Which a lot comes of that has to do with the fact that our bodies naturally make cholesterol. Cholesterol is a healthy, normal hormone that our bodies make. It is actually at the top of the chain when it comes to all the hormones in the body. The balanced cholesterol, the right amount, is triggering all sorts of hormonal actions in the body. And so that needs to be healthy first and foremost, right? But we don't need to consume cholesterol from other foods. Now, when you eat animals, or you eat their secretions, like eggs, you are eating cholesterol. You are consuming now additional cholesterol. On top of the cholesterol, your body is naturally making for your own hormonal health, right? So now you have excess cholesterol, and this is no good. All right. So, how do we turn the tide on this? The key to releasing the excess fat and getting your body healthy, you have to load up on leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. You just have to. You need to get in some healthy proteins. And I'm talking quinoa, I'm talking beans, lentils, all sorts of nuts and seeds, right? You need to consume vitamins and minerals, a wide variety of that, through fruits and vegetables, okay? And you're rotating that on a regular basis. And you have to consume omega-3 fatty acids on a daily basis. You want to get those healthy fats in. Start slow, meal plan so you can know what you're eating. You don't have to be wondering about it. Go to the store with a shopping list, batch cook to save yourself time, right? And do some mindful eating so you can actually enjoy the flavors that you are experiencing, right? Which means you sit down to a meal and you're not distracted by other things. Pay attention to the texture, the color, the flavor. Think about how that food ended up on your table to begin with. There was a farmer, right, who worked to make sure that food was available. That farmer has a family. Is that farmer conscious about the products that he's using to make sure his crops are yielding properly? Just think about the whole concept of farm to table. Yes, think about that. Think about the chain. This is not only going to help you stay consistent with healthy eating, but also be a more conscious, health conscious person, right? Because it's not just about the foods that we're eating. It's not just about releasing this fat. A lot of the fat that we are accumulating is coming from toxic chemicals, which is why we want to vote with our dollars and buy organic. Support your organic farmer, right? When you have farmers out there in the fields spraying chemicals on the food, not only does it hurt us physically and hurts our descendants, because we are going through, when you consume food, anything, right? There are DNA changes happening in the body, right? What you eat becomes you, and there are changes happening in your body, not just DNA, but your gut microbiome is changing. And women pass on their microbiome, their bacteria to their kids. We are seeing that the foods, including alcohol, that people are consuming now is showing up as dysfunction when it's improper foods, unhealthy foods. It's showing up as dysfunction in the grandchildren. It's affecting their brain. So how you're eating now is not just about you, it's about generations of you, right? If you plan to have kids. So this is super important. Now, what are some common challenges? Protein. People are concerned about protein. Of course, you're going to get enough as long as you're eating enough. Okay. Most Americans are overdoing it on protein. They're putting excess stress on their kidneys, and this is no good. Okay. Then the social situations. On this channel, I did have a conversation with Claire Mann, and we talked about this issue in particular, going through the transition, dealing with ridicule in the family and all of that. So make sure just go to my channel and search my interview with Claire Mann, because we talked about that. Cravings. When it comes to cravings, I actually have a program on this called Conquer Your Cravings to help you deal with this. You need to break free from unhealthy food addiction, and it's very intentional how we do that. We also tap into the emotional aspect, things that are triggering you to even run to an unhealthy food, because you may have a want and need for something, right? Which is totally fine and natural, because sometimes the body is giving us information that we want certain things. You feel for something sweet, you feel for something salty, right? The body is, it's like a child that can't really form words, right? It's trying to communicate with you, but then people make it mean something like, oh, I need chips or I need cookies. And that's not what the body's saying. The body's not saying, give me chemicals and refined sugar so that I could feel like crap after. The body's not saying that. We need to get our mind. But first, I'm going to let you in on something, because I do have a mini program called Beat Stress Eating, where we talk about the mind, right? How to get the mind healthy so you can actually eat healthy. Okay. But let me tell you where you start first. Okay. This is where you start first with my meal plan. Okay. My summer meal plan, the link for it is in the description below. That's where you start. And I will provide for you some support to help you on this plant-based journey. So don't worry, okay? Because I got you. I want you to be healthy. I need you actually to spread health in your family. We have too many of us dying young. We have too many of us in our senior years, people working so hard, sacrificing so much, doing the most for their family, and ending up in their 60s and 70s miserable because they're just in the hospital all the time and not even getting the proper care. Because the way the medical system is set up, they do not spend time to sit with you to educate you on nutrition. If we had known that my grandmother's type 2 diabetes could have been reversed in 2 weeks, we would have done it. We were in control of her food. We were in control of her nutrition. We could have helped her live longer than 84. But we were not given the opportunity because we weren't given the information. I'm giving you the information and I'm giving you the tools to get started. So take me up on that offer and download this free meal plan, okay? Your summer meal plan. So today we explored how a plant-based diet can support your weight management, especially as we age. And I want you to remember, small changes can lead to significant results. I am fully aware of how difficult it is to be healthy in such a toxic food environment where people actually have given up their agency to the medical system, which really doesn't care about their health and longevity. Not in this country, because it's a pay-to-play system, okay? And they trust everything in the grocery store is healthy. And it's not true, because it's a capitalistic machine, right? You have processed foods companies that have hired scientists to engineer the foods with high levels of fat, sugar, and salt and chemicals to hijack the addiction centers of your brain so you keep buying more. It's not about your health, it's about your money. They want you to buy more. So if you're going to spend that money, instead of spending it on trash, invest in yourself and buy some organic produce, okay? And get your health together, all right? Thanks for watching this video. Adopting a plant-based diet can be a powerful tool for managing your weight and improving your overall health. And you owe it to your children who you brought in this world and your grandchildren who are looking to you as a leader for the family, as a mentor. My grandmother never told me what to do, but she led by example. And I'm living in the light of her wisdom because I saw what she did. It's not about what she told me. You will influence people by your actions, not by your words. And with that, enjoy the meal plan and the recipes. Take care.